live from Studio 6B on a Monday. No, it's the best. Monday night. Is there anything better than going to Costco when you have time? No, there's nothing better than when you. Usually I'm rushing. We need water. We need this. You run in there and it's like you get out. But if you can go in there and I can walk, this is what I like to do. I like to walk up and down every aisle and look at every single thing that has a tag on it. And
it's cathartic.
Oh, it's the best.
The size of the Manuka honey always baffles me. It's like, how much do they have? It's amazing.
Grab a hot dog and a Coke before you start.
You don't even have to do that. You just go to the sample guys.
Little chicken bake.
And the women. They're just, here you go. Here's a little sample of this. Here's a little pizza bagel. Here's a little little slice of whatever.
Yeah, no, it's nothing better.
Yeah.
Get the industrial-sized beeferinos.
Live from studio, this is a great start. Live from Studio 6B on a Monday.
Oh, my goodness.
Rick Delgado's going to do the news. David Zier's going to do some news as well. Well, how we got onto Costco is Delgado said to me just before we started, how was your weekend? I said, mine was fine. I was traveling with my son for basketball. And then I said, he said, wow, I had one of those days. And I said, what do you mean you had one of those days? He said, my day just...
It was busy.
I said, well, where's the coolest place you went today? You said you went to the doctor. How's everything there?
That's fine. It was a dental thing.
Oh, okay. They weren't checking between the ears, right?
I had the day wrong, so I showed up on time, wrong day, and they told me come back tomorrow. I'm like, all right, I'll come back tomorrow.
Have you seen our friend doctor at all recently?
I see him on Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
We have a standing appointment.
You guys have your standing standing appointment where you talk about chemtrails and UFOs.
Right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then you said you went to Costco, and that's definitely the coolest place that you went today.
And today you walk in, oh my goodness, closed. They had all these brand new Banana Republics. I'm like, Banana Republic, that's a good name.
I'm wearing. I don't know if I should say this. I am wearing Costco shorts right now.
You are.
This very second, right here. I do have pants on, for those of you wondering, and they are Costco. Yes. David Z, are you wearing anything? No, of course not. What are you kidding me? This guy's got...
Actually, the pants I have on are Costco.
Are they really?
Orvis, Tech, Double Flex, stretch pants, $14.97. Don't let the shirt and tie fool you guys.
Okay, there you go. See, there you go. It's just the best. So,
are they called Orifice? What?
Orvis. Orvis. O-R-V-I-S.
Oh,
but I got it for $14.97. I went online to buy them, $109 online. So did I get a deal?
Oh my God!
I don't care what they're called. I don't care what they're called. You can call it ass crack. If it's $14.97, I'm buying it.
Yeah, exactly. They look good. No, I love these shorts. Anything I like, my wife figured it out and got it for me. So. Anyways, hope you had a good weekend. I traveled with my son for basketball.
That? Where'd you go?
We went to Belmar, New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Ocean Avenue in Belmar, New Jersey might be some of the nicest houses I've ever seen. I actually pulled over to the side of the road. I said to my son, I got to pull over and get my Zillow app up here because I just have to see what these houses go for. I think the cheapest one on Ocean Avenue in Belmar is about $8 million.
Wow.
About $8 million.
It's a nice area, though.
It's like I'm the house and you're the beach. That's about as close as, I mean, just, oh man, unbelievable. So we were at some private school down there playing basketball, and it was fun. There's nothing better than being in the car for 3 hours with your teenage son. If you guys, we got a great relationship. He's a blast to be with.
Now, what do you?
And he pulled something this weekend that I can't even explain.
All right, go for it.
I can't explain it. I wanted to kill him and laugh at the same time. We leave the game on. Does everybody want to hear this? Probably not. Well, whatever. We leave the game on Saturday night, and we're in the middle of pretty much nowhere where we play the games. I mean, there's not a street light to be found. There's not a restaurant to be found. There's nothing. So I say to him, well, if we have to end up going to something that's not that great, we'll just have to tonight because he hadn't eaten before he played. He's starving. So I said, well, try to find a Wendy's even because of the three, Wendy's at least is somewhat, So he says, oh, there's one 5 minutes from here. I said, perfect. Put it in your phone and just tell me where I'm going. So I'm driving down the road and I'm going. I'm like, 5 minutes? He's like, well, now it says 3. I'm like, yeah, but it's been 5. He's like, okay, now take a left up here, Dad. And so I take a left, and it's pitch black. These roads are pitch black. Not a street light. They just don't have street lights. Take a right up here. And he goes, all right, now bear right around. Now we've been driving for probably 12 minutes. So I have no idea why his app said 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We've been going for 12 minutes in the pitch black. No idea where we are. He goes, it's right up here, bear right around the corner. Bear right around the corner, and there's nothing there. Wow. He goes, it's right here on the right. And so I go down the street and I make a U-turn. And as I'm making the U-turn, I hear this from the passenger seat. You're going to want to kill me. I said, why? He goes, it says Woodies.
Not Wendy's.
Wendy's.
Did you go to Woodies?
He took me to a place called Woodies, and his app said Woodies, but he looked down and thought it said Wendy's.
All right.
So no, Woodies is closed. Oh. Woodies has no interest in seeing us.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, it was.
Sounded like a nice place.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Woodies.
I couldn't see it. Not the front of the store, not the inside of the store, nothing. That's because funny. He took me to Woodies, not to Wendy's.
So did you ever make it to Wendy's?
We did. We did about 15 minutes later. We had to backtrack across town.
Speaking of teenagers, I don't have any more teenagers. My youngest kid, my daughter, Cameron, turns 20 tonight. And I just made her lasagna bolagnese before I came after work. And,
no extra, I guess. I didn't see any out in the kitchen.
Just say hello to my grandkids, Braylon, Gia, and baby Christopher. And my daughter Morgan, my daughter Ashley, and my daughter Cameron. My son can't be with us. He's getting married next week, speaking of Jersey, in Cape May.
Oh, another nice area where their houses are.
So is everybody enjoying the what you made, except for you?
Yeah. Well, I got to fit in a 36 pants tux by next Friday. So
yeah, good luck with it.
Yep.
So yeah,
these orifices are stretchy 36s.
Okay.
I don't think you want to advertise your orifices.
Yeah, I don't know about your stretchy orifices, but whatever. All right, so there's lots to talk about. Delgado's going to do some news. Slick will do some sports. He's got his political meeting tonight, so I think it's going to be a little late. David Zier's here to do some news as well. Lots going on. Man, I tell you, I saw the president. I don't know how he does it after everything he's been through and with everything coming up. And there he is at UFC in New Jersey. Speaking of, I wish I was closer to where they were Saturday night. Instead of going to Woodies, I would have gone to UFC, but was not close to that.
Yeah,
but they were in New Jersey, and the president was there. And I mean, you know, you can roll that, Aaron, if you have it. I don't know if
that place exploded.
I mean, if crowd reaction ends up turning into anything resembling what this election is going to look like, I mean, the place just went wild.
You know what? It's reminiscent of the old, you know, you see like the heavyweight boxers come out, like the Mike Tyson or the Muhammad Ali, where they come out of the tunnel and everybody's cheering and going crazy.
Well, that's what it's like his own WWE entrance he has there at UFC. I mean, he's had more ring walks than Conor McGregor has in 4 years.
The only thing missing now, he needs a song. He needs a song when he walks out.
Well, he uses Kid Rock's Cowboy song, which I think is great. Sometimes Kid Rock walks with him. He went to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan said on the broadcast, the pop, as they call it, the pop he's getting right now is pretty outrageous from the crowd. And everybody, do you see some of the pictures he took? He took pictures with everybody. Wanted a picture.
Doing selfies. The guy jumped over the octagon after he won he mangled that guy's arm and jumped over. He wanted to get his picture, shake his hand.
Yep.
He may have raised up to $200 million since Friday. Now it's 300.
Now it's up to 300.
Wow, unbelievable.
I saw 154. It's up to 300.
300. They're saying 200 from small donors alone.
I saw somebody said he got endorsed by another big Sequoia Capital.
Yep.
Somebody from Sequoia Capital. And again, you know, I'm not patting myself on the back because really it's not. But if you go back to my pinned tweet on X, didn't have to do with these guys endorsing. But I said, you know, Joe Biden is giving Donald Trump one hell of an amazing opportunity right now because these guys are not going to stand for unrealized taxing unrealized gains. They're not going to stand for raising the capital. They're just not. This is a huge voting bloc. These are huge, powerful people with a lot of money and a lot of influence. The crypto community is exactly the same way. They are single issue voters. They are single issue voters. They don't care or know about any of the other minutiae that we all live by and talk about every day. They want to know if they're going to be able to control their own money without the government continuing to print and steal their intellectual property, steal their wealth by printing money while they're out there working, putting out labor, getting rewarded for that labor, and then the government steals that labor by printing and printing and printing. They are a single issue, very serious voting bloc, and Biden continues to literally give them the middle finger, as he just recently, I think the other day, after bipartisan passage of a crypto bill, basically saying that you're going to have the right to self-custody your own crypto, which basically means self-custody your own money and private property, and hold it. He vetoed it. So the line has been drawn as if it wasn't already, with people like Gary Gensler doing everything they can to attack the whole industry. Biden now vetoes this bill after Democrats and Republicans both supported it out of both the House and the Senate. He vetoes it. I mean, Trump's just got sometimes momentum is a big thing, and when you have it, it's hard to give it up. And right now, in these circles, Wall Street, Main Street, and on a different level, the crypto community, which is small but very, very loud and boisterous, and there's a lot of money. A lot of MAGA were critical of Sequoia last year because they were giving ties to Kevin McCarthy and Mike Turner, Chinese tech firms. So it's interesting to see how that all plays out. Yeah. They're all getting behind them because they see what another Biden term would mean for everything, for their businesses, for their customers. Yeah. So very interesting. So the president's at UFC was really astounding to watch. So there's a lot to get to, but I really want to start, and we don't have time yet because we've gone through the whole first segment here talking about Woodies and Costco. So I'll get in when we get back. I'll get into the hearing today with Dr. Fauci.
Now, was the hearing at Mickey D's or was it a Burger King?
No, it wasn't. No, the hearing. Well, it could have been for this. For as well as the Republicans were prepared, it might as well been at Woodies. It wouldn't have made any difference because what was supposed to be a big, huge microscope on that little, should be in an orange jumpsuit, it was another hearing that just proved how out of touch the Republicans are to the reality of where most of us were 3.5 years ago. They're still not even there. Not even there. As if the last 3.5 years didn't even exist for most of these Republicans. So we'll get into that. We'll do news, sports, David Zier, all of it coming up. Aaron Fran holding it down. Glad you're in on a Monday, live from Studio 6B. Live in the chat.
That's funny that I have the Costco pants on.
That is funny, and I'm wearing their shorts. Let's see here. Who we got?
Hello, everybody.
Marita on Facebook. Hello from Oregon. Hello.
Hello.
We got Pamela in Rumble, Barb JS1, Painted Freak, Pablo Cruz 1. What's up? Mama Via. Ravmod 2, what's up?
Ravmod 2, what's going on? Tommy Viper, what's going on, Tommy Viper?
James Lacey.
What's up, everybody on YouTube? Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe. Robert, how are you on YouTube? Kathy, hello from Minneapolis. Janice, hello, boys. Glad you're in. Thank you.
We got Lorraine on Facebook, says hello to you guys.
Hi, Damon, Rick, and David Z. I see that.
Hello.
Hello. I want to go to Costco and get some hot dogs, Sandra says. Yes. When those prices change, then you know we're in big trouble. Right now, they're keeping them the same.
Yeah, right now they're doing all right. Milk is actually... I base it all on the milk price because I buy 3 or 4 at a time. So it's like, all right.
Allison Johnson says, hi, D. Went to Costco this weekend and couldn't get out fast enough. What? What are you talking about?
Maybe they don't like to shop. Some people don't like to shop. Some people have to shop.
I go look at all the electronics, playing the computers a little bit. Go look at the phones.
I like to look at the meat.
Then I look at all the appliances.
I had a terrible experience buying glasses there. Oh, my God.
Well, you don't buy glasses at Costco, do you?
Well, they're only $125 instead of like $500 when you go to Lens Crafters.
Damon, I've done the same thing your son did to my husband. When he said, Daddy, you're going to want to kill me. I said, why? He goes, it says Woodies. I said, you searched in your maps for Wendy's and you clicked on something that says Woodies and you didn't realize it? Nope.
That happens.
We'll laugh about that 10 years from now, probably. I laughed so hard, but I also was like, are you kidding me? When we actually got to Wendy's is when we really started to laugh about it. Woodies. Oh, yeah. TurboCast says, new here, found you on TV, now I'm hooked. I hear that can happen after a couple times. We appreciate that.
Sorry to hear that. There's an ointment for it. We haven't started selling it yet, though.
No. By the way, everybody who said this shirt is... All right, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, 17 past the hour. Someone in the chat just said, I don't know who it was. It went by too fast. Damon, your boy had tunnel vision. He was hungry. Give him a break. And you're probably right about that. He was Wendy's, Woodies. And all he saw was a number 2 with a large fry and and a Sprite or whatever he wanted. So he didn't care if it was Woodies or Wendy's. So you're probably right about that.
Now, what kind of food does Woodies serve?
I don't know.
Did you even check?
No, no. Huh. I have no idea.
You didn't look to go back the next day?
No. Right. No, we did not go back to Woodies. So
checking. Sorry, Woodies. You could have had some good promotion here, but you weren't open.
Nice talk on the show about your stupid restaurant, but it was blacked out the whole thing. So
was it in Belmar?
I have no idea. Who knows where we went? We drove for what seemed like 4 hours, but it was about 12, 13 minutes, which should have been 5 minutes, but whatever. So, Dr. Anthony Fauci is probably one of the main reasons for the societal deconstruction we've seen over the last 3.5 years. He's also one of the main reasons for the cause of a spike in depression in this country, for a spike in anxiety in this country. He's a man who put impositions and regulations on your kids that never made any sense to anybody with any sense. A man whose lies plunged this country and, quite frankly, the world into chaos, sat today in front of the hearing on Capitol Hill and continued to lie and misstate facts over and over and over again. But unfortunately for us, he was really just too much of a match for the pathetic, mostly, and I won't paint with too broad a brush because there was some highlights, questionnaires who were ill-prepared, ill-motivated, and quite frankly didn't have, I guess, the stones to really go where they needed to go. And I guess maybe they just forgot about that this guy was the one who was solely, when we think back on that time, people being banned from holding their loved ones as they died because of him. People banned from visiting sick family because of him. People banned from stores if you refuse to use a mask or put a diaper on your face because of him. People arrested for taking your kids outside, going to the beach, going to the playground because of him. Playground skateboard places filled in with sand so kids couldn't go use them in the middle of sunny days. Your businesses went out of business, went under. Your friends, your families, they got divorced. Your long-standing relationships were severed. Decades-long career gone. People overdosing. killing themselves. Gone. Your kids didn't have a prom, didn't have a graduation because of him. Could have been saved, loved ones who you lost because of him, because of his rules. That we find out today, he made up. He made up. People injured, unequivocally injured from something they didn't want to take. The proof is undeniable 3.5 years later. All because we were told we have to trust the science, and according to him, he was and is the science. This is who we're talking about, who came in front of Congress today. A man, if you look at him with any reasonable pair of eyes, doesn't deserve a cordial, well, on the Democrat side, lap-licking love fest that he got today. The man is evil, and as I do and most of this audience does, you should have nothing but contempt for someone who's one of the biggest perpetrators of a government run amok, a government oversized, grown into a monster behemoth that devoured your liberty for 3.5 years. He is, as some say, evil. MTG was the only one willing to really treat him with the
what he deserves,
disdain that he deserves. That man is an evil. If there's a public figure that should be hated more than him, I don't know who it is. And the Democrats on this committee make me want to absolutely vomit with their worshiping, licking on his face. What we saw today, his feelings, he's human just like all of us. And for the chairman from Ohio to open up the whole thing and say to him, well, the vaccine saved millions of lives, and I want to thank you for that.
Who was the chairman?
What? Brad Wenstrup from Ohio, where I believe the Cleveland Clinic is located.
Yep.
The Cleveland Clinic, who has put out one after another, after another, after another studies from his own state where they found multiple things that they've put out. 46% chance of this. Vaccinated contracting COVID more than the unvaccinated. People with 3 doses, 95% more likely to get infected than people who declined overall. People with more than 3 doses, 151% more likely to get infected. All of this from the Cleveland Clinic in Ohio. And the chairman from Ohio opens the whatever we want to call this.
The hearing?
The hearing. Certainly wasn't a debate, I could tell you that.
The lap session?
Yeah, exactly. So another hearing that was more of an indictment of the Republicans than it was of the so-called expert witness. The GOP focused on just non-issues. Oh, his email, talk about his email. Narratives that we talked about 4 years ago.
Yep. 3
years ago. They're talking about today. We're so far past that. But this is lost, completely lost on most of the people who questioned him today. The first 4 or 5, I couldn't even watch anymore. The first 4 or 5, if it was a baseball analogy, they all took 3 strikes right down the middle and then went and sat on the bench.
But this stuff came out like 3 years ago. That social distancing was made up. The masks were made up. It didn't work.
But if you questioned it, David,
he
admitted today, though, the least that I know of, for the first time, that a lot of this he made up.
Well, he admitted in an email to a friend 4 years ago that the masks didn't do anything.
He admitted it on TV before the masking mandate came down. Before he suggested it, he said, if you want to wear it, if it makes you feel okay, you can wear it, but it's not going to do anything. That was the little time where he was actually honest, because I don't think he thought it was going to go that far. And then they were like, hey, we have an opportunity, and he signed right up. It's like, oh, I get to make even more money? Sure, sign me up. I'll tell you whatever I have to tell you. I don't care. But we find out it's all BS. He said he was the science. The problem was there was no science behind all that BS that he was dishing. It's amazing.
I mean, here's the Republicans. Oh, your lab leak theory, your emails, the Wuhan virus, all at this point, 4 years ago, fine. At this point, it's like we're so beyond these things at this point. How about mRNA? How about school closures? How about these things? Can we talk about never going there again? Can we talk about lockdowns? Can we talk? No questions about any of this. Your emails, the lab leak theory, all stuff that he just swats away out of the air with his slick little lying. Maliantakis from New York, awful. Chairman, awful. Opening statement, awful. Not a single question about lockdowns from the first 4 or 5 Republicans. Not a single one. And I'll tell you the worst part of all this you take away, if you watched it. If you watch the Republicans on this, you cannot honestly say that if this ever happened again, that most of them wouldn't be down for lockdown 2.0. You can't. Objectively, you cannot say that they would not be down with it all again from listening to them today. All right, sports news all coming up when we get back right after this.
So I ran in there to get new glasses, my glasses fixed because they scratch really easily.
Hi, lenses. Cecilia on Facebook. Yep.
And I wanted to get more of these, and they don't sell them anymore. I was bummed out.
What's up, Slick?
What's up, Big D?
What's up, Slick Rick?
What's going on? Like that Paisley?
Yes, Paisley Park. Yes, thank you.
Paisley Park. When are you going there?
I'm going, listen, I'm leaving June 19th, flying out June 19th, 6 days, Big D. Long week. I won't be back until flying back in that following Tuesday night.
So you leave Wednesday the 19th?
Yes, Wednesday the 19th.
And you're back on the show when? The next Wednesday, the 26th?
Correct. Yeah, because I'll be flying back that Tuesday. Yeah, it's an extended, because it's Purple Rain's 40th anniversary. They're doing a whole big shindig. If you guys, if I can do it, I might be able to Skype in from in front of First Avenue on Friday night where the Revolution is playing. That's Purple Rain, the whole, little before your guys' time. Not so much, but you guys remember Purple Rain.
I thought you meant the BLM revolution in Minneapolis.
Skype in. No, not that. No. None of that.
All right.
That was a peaceful protest.
Slick out 19th through 25th. Calendar.
Yeah. And if they kidnap me, I won't be back. Could happen.
Well, in Minneapolis, anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
You got a bulletproof vest, or you got like a...
You got to see the crowd I roll with. Forget about it.
You should be the front of the house guy for the museum over there.
Yeah, Paisley Park. I was one of the first people actually in it when they opened it. I was one of the first.
Is there someone like that? Because I could knock him off, and you could take his job.
Yeah. His nephew used to wait for me to come to the events just so he could take a picture with me. His nephew, president. Imagine. It's funny. Good kid. Oh, man.
All right. Amy, I will like after the show. Damon has to give me a shout out, though.
Oh,
okay, Amy, there you go. Amy Ames, I just gave you a shout out and I read your comment.
And now we have to wait till
now
after
what?
the show?
I don't even know what she was talking about. I will like after the show.
Oh, well,
like
she'll like you
like
after
what?
Like the show.
Like the show? After the show?
Yeah.
Gotta like it now.
Kevin Downey Jr. sent me a picture of the Slick Rick June calendar. He sent me a text.
Oh, what is June?
June is the purple suit with the purple top hat with the sharp suit.
Okay.
It's a nice look.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Monday, getting the week started. Slick Rick's here now. He's going to do some news. Slick, how's your Monday going? How was your weekend, first of all?
What's that?
How was your weekend?
Oh, fantastic weekend. Good time. Good stuff. We had a ribbon cutting for one of our chamber members in town. There was a big concert we went to in town as well. I had a good time. Went out to a nice dinner. A couple of liberals. Wasn't too crazy about that.
Well, they can still be nice people.
I don't even want to tell you what she said to me about the president. I almost said, check, please. But I didn't want to insult my wife. Oh, yeah, it was very bad. And
well, why didn't you why you didn't want to kind of engage on the issues?
Oh, I laid into her. I told her about the judge, and it was radio silence. Slick Rick is usually very slick and very nice. Okay. I got very indignant.
All right, Slickster.
Yeah. If I told you what she said, you'd believe me. You would have you'd fall off your chair. I was so upset. But then I found the real truth out, that the president held the door for somebody at her wedding. She had it in the same country club, and she never forgot that. That was 40 years ago, back in the 80s. And all her friend could remember was that she held the door for President Trump, not the great wedding. So maybe she has that against the president. I don't know. But, it's Trump derangement syndrome.
TDS. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I love the person, but that comment really hurt me.
You know what's funny is that I had the same issue on Facebook, and I still haven't addressed it yet. I'm going to. I was just waiting. I was going to do last night, and then I'm like, I got better things to do. But it's amazing the amount of people that suffer from TDS.
Crazy.
And just the posting of an upside down flag. That's all I did. No words, nothing said, just posted it. You would have thought
you committed treason.
I shot somebody and dragged their body parts through a street the way they were so I should have put a trigger warning on it.
Oof.
Because people are like, and I'm like, you know what? Usually, and this is why I don't go on Facebook anymore all that often.
Smart man.
Because I end up getting into these rows with people going back and forth.
Fran, you know what this reminds me of? I'm just laughing. Let me give you some advice, Delgado, that I gave the person who sat in that seat in 2015, 2016, 2017, and 2018. Because he did the same thing. And I used to say, Vin, why you need help? Not the other people. You need the help. You keep and get. I would open up Facebook during those years, and my whole feed was his comments to other people. I'd say, "What is wrong with you?" He just couldn't stop. Yeah.
It probably didn't help that I'd sit in my office and send comments to him to get mad at.
Oh, you revved him up, huh, friend?
We would go to like social events back then. I used to actually go out, and we would walk in a place. And Vin would the first person who said anything about politics, Vin would just, even if he wasn't in the conversation, he'd walk over there and go, let me tell you about Trump. He could not resist. He couldn't stop. You just got to stop. That's my advice to you. Well, don't engage.
I stopped a few years ago, and I'm like, you know what? There's no need. I got better things to do than waste my time with these idiots. Let them go get their shots. I don't care. Yeah. Let them deal with the heart problems they're going to deal with afterwards. I don't care. It's all up to them. So if you want to carry around that poison with you, whether it be in your personality, in your emotions, that's on you, man. I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, you can engage here. You don't need to engage there.
Right. I might hate my life, but I love my bike, and that's what I ride. So there you go.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll get to sports here in a second, but let's do some news with the bike riding news, chemtrail, UFO.
That's right.
Himself.
I was out there this weekend tearing it up, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Did you say yo?
Yeah, I said yo.
All right, very good. And here with that is
Yo MTV Raps.
It's Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
Well, the one story that really got me looking into things, and I've got a theory, and I'll share that theory in a little bit, but it's this one, is the release of the Biden audio from the transcripts. That now, according to this, from
doctoring going on?
Yeah, a little doctoring going on. According to this, earlier today, Attorney General Merrick Garland has classified that the highest level, the audio tapes of Biden's embarrassingly incoherent interview with Special Counsel Hur over 2 days, and has locked the tapes away into a SCIF. Believe it or not.
Sure.
So if you want to find out about covering up corruption, there you go. Basically, following along with this is, again, because they won't release, the DOJ was claiming, the president claimed executive privilege when it came to the audio, and now Merrick Garland has followed up. The Justice Department, it says here, cannot release the audio tapes of President Biden's interview with the special counsel due This is a great one. Due to the threat of potential deep fakes, they argue.
Oh, yeah.
In a court filing.
Yeah, it makes sense. Totally.
The filing came as part of a legal challenge against Biden's effort to exercise executive privilege over the recordings to keep it from the public. The DOJ acknowledged in its Friday filing that there was already enough public audio available to create AI deepfakes of both Biden and her, but said that releasing the true recording would make it more difficult to disprove any false versions. Now, that is BS, because if you want to say, okay, here's the only official audio, you post it on the government website and say, this is the actual audio. Anything you hear different is going to be altered. There you go. Solves the problem. That's what I do. Find a problem and I solve it. I'm like Vanilla Ice.
There's no AI yet available that can get that many ums and ohs into a sentence. So that's how you know you're listening to the original. It's very simple.
It says the passage of time and advancements in audio, artificial intelligence, and deepfake technology only amplify concerns about malicious manipulation of audio files. If the audio recordings is released here, it is easy to foresee that it could be improperly altered and that the altered file could be passed off as an authentic recording and widely distributed. We already have that going on, so don't even worry about it. Associate Deputy Attorney General Bradley Weisenheimer, that's his real name, quite the Weisenheimer he is, wrote in the filing that releasing the tape would make it far more likely that malicious actors could pass off a deepfake as an authentic recording.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So,
like, we all don't know why the recording is not going to come out until Trump wins and then releases it. I mean, come on.
We all know why.
Do we need to hear all of these lame excuses? I mean, please.
Because when you hear it transposed to the actual transcript, it gives you context. It makes you go, oh, look, I don't understand what he's saying here. They actually feel that there's also the problem with the transcripts. It looks like were altered, that were released. So if the transcripts don't match up with the audio, the White House has a problem. So there's multiple problems coming out regarding this.
I mean, the White House has again, it's like at this point, are they really keeping anything from us that we don't already know? I mean, okay, let's be truthful. If we heard the tape, is there any level of stupidity coming from this guy that's going to surprise anybody? He doesn't remember what his name is, remember when his son died, remember who his son even is, remember who he's talking to, remember that he had a Corvette, remember that he owned a house. I mean, is any of this, if we found out that he doesn't know any of this, going to surprise anybody at this point?
They're just the worst.
The worst.
I mean, the only thing that would surprise us is if we heard that maybe he fell asleep at the table and we actually heard his head hit the table maybe or something. Like what would surprise us at this point on the tape that this is, I mean, I don't know. Can anyone think of something?
Nope.
No. So then, I mean,
maybe a fake fart.
I probably wouldn't be fake.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fake.
Yeah.
You're like sitting next to Delgado.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right, what else, Delgado?
You weren't here earlier. The jury in the Hunter Biden gun trial was seated this afternoon by Delaware U.S. District Court Mary Ellen Noriega. The president's son, indicted by a federal grand jury in September after a diversion agreement for a felony gun offense and plea deal related to misdemeanor tax charges, unraveled when Judge Noriega questioned whether the agreement would allow him to avoid potential future charges. The jury selection, 12 jurors for alternates were sworn in. It's right now 10 women and 6 men on the first day of the trial. The judge went over the instructions to the jury. The opening statements are going to begin tomorrow as the president's son faces 3 felony charges stemming from his alleged illegal, well, it was illegal. Come on. He's not allowed to own a gun. Purchase and possession of a firearm in 2018 while he was still a drug user. Throughout the jury selection, Hunter Biden was attentive. I guess he got his delivery at the White House. Periodically took notes. The First Lady sat directly behind him, sharing the first row with his wife, Melissa Cohen Biden, half-sister Ashley Biden, Hollywood attorney and ally Kevin Morris. The First Family largely did not react as the jurors answered questions. All but one juror was made aware of the case by news reports, and many said they had an immediate connection to someone struggling with drug and alcohol abuse. What a surprise. By 11:45, a dozen potential jurors out of 30 were excused. One person asserted gun ownership was a God-given right, while another said her opinion of the Bidens was not a good one. Removed. So there you have the first day. Quick roundup from the Hunter Biden. Everything really gets started tomorrow in Delaware.
All right, Rick Delgado, we'll do some more news. Let's do a little news with the host of Breaking Point, 8 a.m. right here Saturday mornings. And that would be one Mr. David Zia. Mr. Zia, what's going on?
So much going on. I had an incredible weekend. I met with 30 people who were the families of hostages on Saturday night, those taken by Hamas in Midtown Manhattan, up on the Upper East Side, actually. They were marching in the parade the next day. I was at the Grand Marshal's apartment. I got these incredible interviews. I'm going to be sharing with you this week. I could get one quick one in. I have a whole family abducted, and I have a picture. Maybe you guys could get it ready. Cut number 2, I have the video, and then I have a picture that this woman gave me. You're not going to believe it. This is Aurea, cut number 2.
I'm the cousin of Yarden Bibas. He's right here in the picture with his wife, Shiri, and their sons, Ariel, who is 4 years old, and Kfir, who is, I can't believe it, 1.5 years old already. Wow. The whole family was kidnapped on the 7th of October. Kfir was only 9 months old. He actually, almost half of his life in captivity right now.
Have you heard any updates? Have there been any messages sent to your family? Where do things stand right now for you?
Unfortunately, we don't have any more information about the fate of Shiri and the kids and Yarden. We only have sorrow and sadness, and we are worried and anxious, and at the same time we are hopeful to hear that there's going to be a deal that will bring our loved ones home. We can't wait any longer. We do know that there are hostages alive. We do know that for sure. They are alive and they are waiting to be saved.
Yeah.
And we can't just leave them.
So she gave me that photo, and on the back she wrote, "Dear David, please keep Yarden, Shiri, Ariel, and Kefir close to your heart and mind. Aurea, Bibas, and family, whole family. That baby was 9 months old, 243 plus days in captivity right now. None of them are probably alive. Very tragic, but I have more interviews for you. It was a life-changing experience, and I'll have more for you, Damon."
All right, Sports with Slick coming up. A little more with David Zia as well right after this. Live from Studio 6B on a Monday night.
That was tough, Dave. Oof.
Yeah, I got about an hour of interviews. It was nuts.
That's tough.
Just nuts. One guy had 2 brothers kidnapped. One guy's son was kidnapped, and they confirmed he's dead. I had another guy who was the oldest guy taken hostage. He survived the Holocaust.
They confirmed he's dead, but they don't have the body even, right?
No.
That's a shame. They don't even get closure.
They've returned, I think, a few today, or
don't even get
verified
closure.
4 more were dead today.
It doesn't bring them back, but at least they have some closure, for God's sakes.
Yeah, it's rough. Fran, thanks for putting that picture up last minute. Thank you, Aaron.
Do you?
What is that? Is
That
that
what you
me?
have? It's you.
What the shit?
Good Lord.
Oh, mother.
I didn't know you had plaque psoriasis.
Me either. But I need Sky Rizzy.
You do.
F is Sky Rizzy.
Couldn't place the song until you just said that.
Oh.
Nothing means everything. I hate that stupid thing.
How about?
But it's in my stupid head.
Nothing's better than the
It's obviously
Ozempic.
working.
It's working. It's like my buddy put together an online radio station.
Yeah.
Everybody should go check it out. It's called Toes on the Beach. It's on Live 365.
Oh, yeah?
His name is Elliot. He doesn't want to publicize it, but he does it as like, you know, because he's
And
a
what
radio
does it
guy. He's been in it
focus on?
forever.
I didn't hear any of what you just said. Say it again.
Damon's got to hear this.
He's got a online radio station on Live 365 called Toes on the Beach. And he actually went, and it's just for him and like a few people that he knows, and he puts songs on there. And we started talking about it, and he actually went and got like somebody to record jingles for it. So it's like Toes on the Beach, and in between, I don't know why he's doing it, but he's a longtime radio guy. So this is his
Maybe
way
he
of,
should
you know,
carry the show.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
It's just a silly. It gets stuck in your head. 'Cause,
Damon,
like, I
show
was
off your
listening to
shirt.
it.
Show off my shirt.
Yeah, like Toe Jam.
I was listening to it, and I got that little jingle in my head now. It's
Yeah.
like the Sky Rizzy stupid jingle. Damon standing up. Toes on the
That's my
beach.
shirt, and it is in stock. Somebody
Hot
said
Pockets.
you couldn't get it. I checked today. I like Studio 6B 13 to the hour. I was just telling the people in the chat, wearing my Trump We the People shirt, somebody had written in saying that they couldn't get it. It was out of stock. And I checked, and it's not. They're all in stock. A lot of them flying off the shelves because people want it now. Because I don't know if people didn't realize this shirt was on. It's been on the site for months.
I
made this back. We made this back. I think when Mar-a-Lago got raided.
Yeah, I don't think I remember ever seeing it.
I said November 5th we're going to be the ultimate jury. This was before any of this. This is months ago. This has been on the site, but I think people just realizing it's there. So yes,
well, you're a terrible marketer.
We don't try. We don't really try that hard. So people find them, they find them, and if not, it's not. So let's do some sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and My Pillow. Use our code LFS6B if you shop there. It's a great savings. Plus, you can get this shirt, by the way, absolutely free if you use our code at My Pillow anytime this month and anytime moving forward, any month. Our code, someone said I said any code the other day, and I think what I meant was any code that comes in, obviously our code of LFS6B can get this shirt if they want it. It doesn't have to be the Trump shirt of the month. It'll be this one. We're going to use this every single month going forward, but it still has to be LFS6B code. It's not, can't send me anyone's code. Send it to them and get a t-shirt from them.
Yeah.
To get our shirt, you got to use our code. So LFS6B is the code to use. Slickster, what's going on?
Well, I can tell you what's not available, Big D, and that would be New York Rangers Stanley Cup Finals
here we
tickets. Because
go.
that team coded as well. But here we go. It's all down to the Oilers and the Panthers. Big D. I revel in misery with these themes. You know that. 8 p.m. Saturday night, Game 1, NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. The two best teams are there. Boy, you talk about a polarizing opposite there. You got Edmonton all the way up in the Great White North there on the western coast, and then you're going to go all the way down to almost South Miami, South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and you're going to have the Panthers. So we're really spanning the northern continent here for NHL playoffs. So Oilers right now are plus 115 with the Panthers, of course, being the favorite. They're looking to get even from last year where they lost the Stanley Cup Finals to the Vegas Knights, who won the championship last year. They're looking to avenge and win the Cup. I think they will beat the young Oiler team. They're a good team. I like Connor McDavid, but I do think it might be the Panthers' year. They got a great coach as well. So we'll see. 8 p.m. Game 1 Saturday night. So the boys get a little bit of a rest. NBA Big D. We got a good one there. We got the Dallas
Connor
Mavericks.
McDavid, by the way, is a magician.
Oh, geez, the guy.
He's otherworldly, this guy. I mean, he is like from
His
another
stick
planet.
handling and movement and the way he skates, his speed. Yeah, he's one of those generational players like a Mario Lemieux or a Wayne Gretzky.
Well, I was going to say, what about compared to Gretzky?
Well, no, you got a long way to go before you're that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a different animal. Gretzky is one of the analysts, and he's doing a hell of a job all the way. He's a little stuffy, but he's good. And then we have the NBA at Big D. Dallas Mavericks. Well, they made it. They held off Minnesota, and they were able to get to the finals. They're going to take on the Boston Celtics. Game 1 Thursday night, TD Garden. 8:30 tip-off. Right now, the Celtics are a -240 favorite, Mavs being a +200. I like the Celtics. I think it'll be a good series. Kyrie Irving is playing very well. Of course, Luka Doncic is a star, but I think you're going to have a hell of a series. But
I got Dallas.
You got Dallas?
Yeah.
I got Boston in 6. You got Dallas in what, 6, 7?
Yeah, something like that.
I may have to make a wager.
I think Boston will get a couple.
No, I think Boston's going to do it.
Now, I'm actually looking to go to Game 2 on Sunday night because I'm going to be in Boston.
Oh, really?
Wow.
You got an extra 20 grand laying around?
I'm going to be. No, it's not that much.
Okay.
They're not what I would call cheap, obviously, but for what it is, they're not what I expected them to be. I'm hoping they come down a little bit from where they are. But we're going to be playing in Boston. My son's tournament this weekend. I got a tournament every weekend in June. This weekend is in Boston.
Oh, wow.
So we play Saturday and then Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon if we make it to the championship game. And then I'm there in Boston for Game 2. So I'm looking about doing a late night with him.
That might be fun.
And go to Game 2.
That'd be something. I mean, how often do you get to go to an NBA final? And your son's a real basketball player, a real fan. He loves the game, and so do you. That's your background.
So I can go watch Dallas take a 2-0 lead. After they win Thursday night, Sunday night, they'll be looking to take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah. They'll be looking to lynch you as you're walking out of the stadium. You know how those Boston guys are. They don't mess around there.
And I'll be there.
Yeah. Wow. That's going to be good. All right. You have to
maybe
a report. Maybe. We'll see. Got a couple of dollars short of it. So anyway, every once in a while, I've been doing sports on the show. I'm in my 5th year. And every once in a while, boy, it hits home. And I literally dropped my phone for a minute today. It took me back 30 years when I heard that Larry Allen, a Hall of Fame offensive lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, died suddenly at the age of 52 yesterday. I know, was he vaxxed? Well, I'm not going down that road tonight. This is an AP report, and I don't really know what happened. We'll probably find out. Dallas is an AP report. Larry Allen, one of the most dominant offensive linemen in the NFL during a 12-year career, spent mostly with the Dallas Cowboys, has died. He was 52. Allen died suddenly on Sunday while on vacation with his family in Mexico, the Cowboys said. A 6-time All-Pro who was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2013. I remember watching that. Allen said few words, but he let his blocking do the talking. Larry, known for his great athleticism and incredible strength, was one of the most respected, accomplished offensive linemen to ever play in the NFL, the Cowboys said Monday. His versatility and dependability were also 2 signature parts of his career. Through that, he continued to serve as an inspiration for many other players, defining what it meant to be a great teammate, competitor, and winner. The former Sonoma State lineman, drafted in the 2nd round by the Cowboys in 1994, the year before the last of the franchise 5 Super Bowl titles. Allen once bench pressed 700 pounds while dumbfounded teammates watched and mobbed him. Allen was feared enough among his peers that notorious trash talker John Randall of the Minnesota Vikings decided to keep to himself when he faced the Cowboys, so to avoid making Allen mad. Allen entered the Hall of Fame about a year after his mother died, knowing her presence would have helped him get through a speech after a career spent trying to avoid the spotlight. I mean, I could just get into it right now. Larry Allen was one of the greatest ever. I remember in 1994, it was a preseason game against the New Orleans Saints. I could tell you where I was watching that game, and I saw this lineman wearing number 73 out of Sonoma State. He was a rookie. Run down a guy who picked off the ball, a cornerback who probably ran about a 4.5 40, and you saw Larry Allen blistering down the field, and I said, that young man's going to be special. Never to know that he's the greatest Cowboy lineman ever, and they've had some great ones, and I would say arguably the greatest left tackle in the game. Played left tackle, played left guard, primarily played left guard, and he was just an incredible force on the field. We're going to miss him. To die at 52 years old, Damon.
Oof.
Very young age, and I don't know, what had happened. Of course, we're all going to speculate, but just incredibly sad news. So I got a couple other stories, but I'm going to just leave it there. I have my Cowboy helmet every night, and that means a lot to me. So, Larry Allen, I pray for your family because that's the one who suffers the most, and your fans. I remember flying to see Emmitt Smith go into the Hall of Fame back in 2010. I went to Canton, took the weekend, my wife, my nephew, and I remember seeing Larry there. Boy, he was proud. So I'm sure Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, Michael Hervin, and the lot all have broken hearts tonight. So God bless Larry Allen. Rest in peace, my man.
All right, Slick, very good. We'll do some more sports in hour 2. Let's do a little more news with Rick Delgado here before we end hour 1. What else is going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, I know we were talking about, the audio tapes of Joe Biden. I've got a quick clip here of Byron Donalds confronting that whole issue about Democrats not wanting you to hear what President Biden sounded like during this interview with Special Counsel Robert Hur. This is cut number 8. Check this out.
Laura, it's good to be with you. Let's be honest. They're afraid to let the audio out because they don't want the American people to hear Joe Biden. They want you to read about it. They want you to see Joe Biden in these overly choreographed little segments where a lot of us up here on Capitol Hill believe that they give him a little bit of that special potion to get his motor running, but then it wears off. They don't want us to hear him when he's having to actually answer questions and actually tell the truth to Mr. Hur, the special prosecutor in this situation. Also, in the transcript, there were times where the White House would put down inaudible because it wasn't really clear what the president was saying. So we want to be able to hear the audio recordings to then use that to go back to the transcript that was provided by the White House.
Yeah, so there you have it. People pushing back. Hopefully this will see the light of day. And like I said, I have a theory. Share it later.
All right, hour 2. All right, stay tuned for that. Hour 2 coming up.
Larry Allen.
Yeah.
I wanted to combine the 2 cops getting shot in the city with my interview. I covered the memorial bike ride for the 2 cops gunned down in Harlem. Rick, I didn't know if you had that story with the cops. Okay.
You can do it.
Or you could do the story and then I'll just add the interview from the event. It's really timely. I did the event Saturday and these cops got shot. I think it was yesterday.
I want a surprise. It's an illegal.
It was actually this morning. Early in the morning. Sickening. Staying in a Courtyard Marriott for $350 a night. I can't afford to take my kids to Asbury Park.
Can't take them to Salisbury Park.
Salisbury Park. Salisbury steak. Can't do Salisbury steak.
Salisbury Park. I'm going to grill myself barbecue steak.
Salisbury. Where do you come up with this?
I don't know. It's a sickness. I did that to somebody over the weekend. And they spit this shit all over the restaurant. They're like, why do you do this? I'm like, it's a sickness.
The only thing I'm not on, I'm on Rumble. I'm on X. What am I missing? I think I'm missing.
It was a rough chat on Friday night. Woo, rough chat. Oh, yeah.
I didn't go into the chat.
One woman says, they should get rid of sports. I'm sick of this guy. I go, I'm handing my papers in on Monday. My wife was hysterical. I said, I'm handing just for you. Oh, boy, the chat just jumped all over that. That was funny. Woman I never heard of her. Must be welcome to the show, you know.
I just put Slick Rick a riot.
Yeah, riot.
And a wordsmith.
Right, get your gear.
Get your riot gear.
Oh, Green Beret. Mario Lemieux was better than Gretzky. Well, that's a good argument. I mean, Mario Lemieux was great, man.
That's a tough one. Yeah.
No, I mean, he can't take from Gretzky was the best ever. But look at what's his name. He's going to break the record anyway, right?
Louis Yager?
No, he's going to break.
right, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Hour 2, live from Studio 6B. Glad you're in on a Monday night. Slick's doing sports. Rick Delgado's going to do some more news. David Zier's got some stuff as well. Coming up, Aaron Fran holding it down as always. President Trump's attorney, Will Scharf, scheduled to join us tomorrow night at 8:30. Looking forward to that conversation. A lot of talk, and I have many questions for the brilliant Mr. Scharf, and he has been brilliant since the time that he kind of exploded onto the scene with some of his early writing when it came to the Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
He was writing about some other issues as well, too, when it came to things, and I was like, man, who is this? Of course, he's running for Attorney General in Missouri. That I believe that is August. I want to say August 4th. I believe that that election in Missouri for Attorney General. So he'll join us tomorrow night. Many questions I have for him about President Trump, and I'll keep giving the credit to Mark Levin because I believe he's the first one to lay the case and not a lot of people. There's a lot more talk today. If you notice, President Trump has now come out. I'm sure I would almost wager anything that the president is directly in contact with Mr. Levin on if not a daily basis, maybe weekly. Yes. I would bet.
Scharf has a primary against, I think, the current
I think it's August 4th.
Attorney General Andrew Bailey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So I have many questions about President Trump's road to the Supreme Court and really just asking him, and I'm sure he's obviously heard of it. I haven't really heard him comment too much on it, about Mark Levin's the case to be made using Bush v. Gore as somewhat precedent. And yes, you appeal in New York. You don't give up the right to do that. And I want to ask him about the New York higher courts as well, because I think we all just paint with a broad brush, me included, that the New York courts are all whacked and out of control. And I don't know that that's necessarily true when you get to the highest. The Court of Appeals is actually the highest court in New York, I believe. It's like reverse, right?
Yeah. Court of Appeals is the highest.
Right. Yeah. Because you think about New York being the economic Western capital of the Western world. You say what you will, but multi-billion-dollar corporations are not going to do business here if they think that the Court of Appeals is just going to make it up. So I want to ask him about that, but I want to ask him about the case on Bush v. Gore and making the case to the Supreme Court, what he sees. Are they in the process of doing that? I mean, you have to actually, you have to make the case for them to even consider it, which I don't know what the percentage of that they would actually take it, but you're hearing a lot more clamor about it today than you were hearing about it a week ago when he was the only one talking about it, and I was regurgitating what he said. And he's usually the first to come up with these things. So we'll ask Mr. Scharf about that tomorrow night. I look forward to that.
And Levin had Ted Cruz on tonight talking about whether they could do this extraordinary writ and get around having to go through the process in New York, which could take a year, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, the process in New York, I think, has to still go on. As he said, you don't give up your right to be able to do that. But in the meantime, you have to
try, right?
Correct. You make this case. You make the case. You have to make a compelling case. And he believes, in my limited understanding of all of this, very limited, obviously, is that Bush v. Gore, the reason the Supreme Court stepped in was the unequal treatment of voters, and how possibly could you look at this and say that this is not worse than that? It'd be hard to argue that it's not. I heard Jonathan Turley on with somebody today, I think on Fox, basically saying that he believes the president will have a successful appeal in New York at the higher courts because there's just too many things here that can't stand. But as we've always said, this judge never gave a damn about that because he knew that would be after November. Yeah. The Democrats knew it would be after November. People on the jury, I'm assuming, knew that would be after November. None of them cared. They got their label that they wanted to slap on him in hopes that would make enough of a difference going into November for this to work. And it doesn't seem like that's going to work either.
It's not working.
But that's what they wanted.
That's all they wanted.
So Ted Knoll has a piece today speaking about Trump's appeal and why he also thinks they will succeed after being convicted by a jury in Manhattan. He said a prosecution must satisfy conditions laid out in our Constitution, which is, should anyone forget, the highest law of our land. It specifies safeguards for the legal process. In the Fifth Amendment, we find, quote, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, end quote. That due process is further defined in the Sixth Amendment. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. So the four highlighted things in that paragraph obviously are all in question. Couldn't have the witnesses he wanted. Certainly didn't have an impartial jury. Has no idea what the crime is. Nobody does. If you haven't seen Michael Knowles on, by the way, with Piers Morgan, friend of the show, Michael Knowles, with some whacked out leftist trying to explain what Trump was actually convicted on, and she has no idea. As does anybody. Nobody knows what in furtherance of that crime was. To take what was a process crime, not even a crime, misdemeanor, that never would have been charged, never has been charged, bookkeeping error, that the statute of limitations have run on, and turn it into a felony so Alvin Bragg could go copy-paste 33 more times. And that's exactly what he did. Copy-paste, copy-paste, copy-paste.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, I was concerned that the judge was giving the jury an out to convict Trump, even though they really can't explain it. And then it wound up with the smorgasbord of options to get him on at the end. I had a knot in my stomach that day.
Yeah, we knew the jury instructions would be poisonous. We just never knew how poisonous they would be. Basically saying, there's no unanimity needed between all of you. You four think this, you four think that, and you four think that. Great. Guilty. So Mr. Knoll says the prosecuting attorney is an officer of the court and is duty-bound to guard these steps carefully. Alvin Bragg ran roughshod over them. The judge is a referee in the court. It's obligated at all times to ensure the defendant's constitutional rights are fully safeguarded. Under the rule of lenity or lenity, when there is a dispute about the law, his only proper option is to rule in favor of the defendant. This is part of what due process law, Fifth Amendment, means. Should the judge fail in this duty, the trial court will no longer be a lawful trier of the law. Such failures constitute reversible error. And that's what appellate courts consider. They assume, too, that the jury properly considered the facts presented to it. See the Seventh Amendment. Let's break that down, as you were just saying. Prosecution and defense will bring in their witnesses and exhibits if there are objections by one side or the other side. Obviously, that's the judge lets through is the sole basis for the jury's verdict. If the judge lets the prosecution run wild and denies the defense proper rights, the appellate court will reverse the verdict because the jury wasn't given the facts required to make a proper decision. And obviously, that is this case is rife with all of these errors. When you look at Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen was able to get into this case and basically continue to claim that there was a federal elections committee crime committed, and then the defense was not allowed to put the former chairman of that organization on the stand to say, no. But yet Cohen was allowed to continue to say it and say it and say it, and yet the defense could not put on the most expert of expert witnesses, someone who sat in the chair, which, by the way, he has multiple times now laid out on X why exactly and how exactly this would be looked at and why there is no FEC crime here. So he says the biggest legal problem comes from the Sixth Amendment. And that, of course, is just what we're talking about. The indictment did not specify which crime the bookkeeping issues concealed. And that's obviously the biggest thing here. Nobody knows what in furtherance of this crime. Nobody knows what that is. Nobody talking about it on the media. Nobody talking about it on these shows. I would venture to guess most of the jurors didn't know, don't know, didn't, Be great to see whatever they filled out. Yep. Great to hear from some of them.
I wonder if they're on a little bit of lockdown right now.
Well, I bet they are.
Because normally when big cases like this finish, they wheel out, you got jurors looking to make a buck, trying to jump on CNN, trying to get booked here and there. We've seen none of that, which is odd.
It's coming.
I guess maybe they're waiting for their book deal money.
Yeah.
They got to wait for the check to clear.
Just to finish here, Mr. Nolan today says Merchant's final major constitutional error was not recognizing that the state law invoked had been superseded by the Supreme Court in Trump v. Anderson just 2 months before this trial. SCOTUS declared that presidential elections are federal elections and state courts have no jurisdiction over them. Thus, even if everything alleged by D.A. Bragg and pushed improperly by Judge Merchant were true, it would not matter. The Manhattan court had no business sticking its nose where it did not belong. Because the jury didn't get to know any of what we're discussing, jurors with TDS had no qualms about going with any gut feeling. They did their job in a courtroom where the DA and the judge had no respect for any of these due process laws. This travesty of justice will be slapped down. Due to severe constitutional errors, it seems likely that removing the appeal to the federal court would be proper. Mark Levin has even suggested an emergency appeal to SCOTUS. I'll leave those strategy discussions to people smarter than me, but it would be poetic justice if Trump takes the oath of office in an orange jumpsuit days before a federal election vacates the verdict.
Will Schaaf eviscerated Stephanopoulos. I don't know if you saw that.
I did.
Unbelievable.
He eviscerates most people he talks to because he's smarter than them.
Yeah.
Including the one he's going to talk to tomorrow night, most of all. All right, live from Studio 6B, 13 past the hour. We'll do news and sports coming up.
Sure. I do this show all the time. Yeah, I'm with them all the time.
Apparently he issued a challenge. Slick Rick over.
Oh, did he? Don?
Yeah.
Don's a riot.
I'd love to know what logic he's using for that.
Yeah.
Come on!
I just did a rally with them.
Somebody in the chat told me.
Love Donna. Donna and Don. And Don's
I've seen them do a couple of rallies.
Pisser.
Yeah, they seem like fun people.
Yeah. They got a great show.
A boot challenge. That's going to be objective. I mean, if you're going to take those Western, those doodle kickers that they wear,
Their Saturday night show, the barn party, is just a riot.
Well, there you go. I show up to a barn party with my boots.
Actually, no, I did the
like a
Libertarian
horse's
convention with them remotely. Yeah.
Damon, you have a read here.
Oh, nice. Why? Come on. I thought you'd enjoy them. AARP, $30 for 45 years. Wait, Caitlyn Clark, what are they trying to do? Kill the kid? Like left and right, huh? Not only did they knock her over. You do believe it.
I just have 2 more videos for the end of the show. They're not that long. Oh.
All right.
All right.
What's going on in the chat? I'll sound like the blues on a Monday night. Slick Rick's dancing over there. Well, let me talk to you about AMAC. Well, it's June. You know what that means. Slick, what's in June?
It's June.
That's right, Father's Day. It's coming up in June. This month we celebrate Father's Day. I'm sure you think everybody's reminded and thinks about their own dad. Men of strong values that went to church, had family dinners, honored the flag. These values shaped most of your homes. Your dad's taught you to stand behind your beliefs, cherish loved ones, appreciate your freedoms. This Father's Day, a perfect way to honor your dad's legacy, of course, is with an AMAC membership. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, champions the value that fathers instilled in us: faith, family, and freedom. AMAC.US/Studio 6B. By joining AMAC, you support an organization that fights for these principles. For June, you get a 2-year membership for just $16. What? Let me say it again. 2-year membership for just $16. 2 years for the price of one. Join thousands of others and be a proud AMAC member. All you have to do is visit amac.us/Studio 6B. Go right now, amac.us/Studio 6B. Celebrate Father's Day by standing up for what your dad believes in. amac.us/Studio 6B. I mean, that is just a crazy deal.
That's a great deal.
Crazy deal. All right, 18 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do sports. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell and MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Great promo code. God, sound like Biden. And great savings it'll save you. Plus, you can get this shirt that I'm wearing, which, by the way, is in stock. But you can get it for free. Don't buy it. You can get it for free if you use our code at MyPillow. We the people.
Yeah, he'll wash it first, too.
November 5th, 2024, Trump's, whatever they call this, profile. Oof. Pretty good. It's like, what's going on?
It's a great deal.
You're really doing a great
I'm really a great salesman.
It's a whale of a deal.
Whatever.
Okay, here we go. Let's get to it. Hey, NCAA softball. We're in the playoffs, boys. Here we go. We want to get to a little bit of that. We love the ladies playing softball. Florida right now, 9-3 over Oklahoma. That'd be number 4, Florida defeating number 2, Oklahoma. That is the double elimination round. And right now, Texas blanked Stanford earlier today, number 1, Texas, 1-0. And then we got 2 more games going on tonight. Stanford taking on Texas again in a second game. And then Florida and Oklahoma will get it on as well. And that'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. So we'll keep track of that and see how the ladies do in the softball as we wind down the college seasons. We got to check the lacrosse, too, as well. Major League Baseball.
Did you see that team that pulled the old hidden ball trick the other day? That was pretty good.
That's a classic whenever they do that.
That was pretty good.
Man.
He snagged the guy on third base.
That does work. Yeah.
He did the old slap the glove with the pitcher's glove, made it look like
they passed the ball. Oh, he got him. That's a classic. And, let's get back to baseball, Big D. We got the Mets right now over the Nationals, 8-5 in D.C., top of the 8th. Orioles over the Blue Jays 6-2, bottom 8. Top of the 6th, Tigers and Rangers tied at 1. We have the Cardinals over the Astros 3-2, end of 3. The Reds, believe it or not, beating the Rockies 2-1, top of the 3rd. They never win over there. Brewers right now trailing the Phillies. Well, actually, that just went final. Phillies 3-1 over the Brewers earlier today. And then we have the Padres and Angels coming up at 9:38, and the Giants at the Diamondbacks at 9:40. Well, let's get to some real good news. How about this one, Big D? UFC fighter Kevin Holland shakes Trump's hand immediately after win. Come on. Elizabeth Wiebel of Breitbart. And UFC fighter Kevin Holland went over to shake former President Donald Trump's hand after winning his match against middleweight opponent Michael Oleszczuk. Tough name to pronounce there. Trump campaign National Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt shared a video on X of Holland shaking hands with Trump after winning his match at the UFC 302 mixed martial arts fight in Newark, New Jersey on Saturday evening. The old president went down to the fight. How Big D? Holland was reported to have broken Oleszczuk's arm during the match and won by submission. I'd like to see Trump break a few arms on the way to that election. The win came in the first round with Holland getting a technical submission win due to the broken arm, stopping the fight, according to the MMA fighting website. UFC fighter Sean Strickland was also seen celebrating his win with Trump and taking a photo with the former president. President Trump, you are the man, bro. Strickland said, it's a damn travesty what they're doing to you. I'll be donating to you, my man. Let's get it done. Sounds like a lot of people in this country saying that same tune, huh? When Trump arrived at the event, he was met with a thunderous applause from the crowd inside the arena days after he was convicted by a Manhattan jury on 34 counts of falsifying business records in a falsified trial. In the first degree related to payments made to adult entertainment stuff, blah, blah, blah. The crowd at the event would also be heard chanting, well, you use your imagination, but bleep Joe Biden. And we love Trump during the match, moments after the former president had entered the arena and received a standing ovation. So really good to see that. You know, hey, UFC loves the president. I mean, that's got to be his game, right? Those fights, they're absolutely crazy for him. So, and what about Caitlyn Clark? Huh? Boy, she's getting run over, Big D. WNBA's Shanity Carter taunts Caitlyn Clark after brutal hard foul. I can't show this because of licensing, but you get a chance to take a look at it. The Chicago player who sent Caitlyn Clark crashing to the floor after a brutal and unprovoked attack on the basketball court has now resorted to ridiculing Clark as well. Clark made headlines on Saturday after Carter made headlines on Saturday after she blindsided Clark with a brutal hit while calling her a female dog. Carter faced serious backlash on social media following the play. There was enough pushback that previously unknown player ridiculed Clark's basketball skills, captioning an Instagram post detailing her brief but turbulent time in the WNBA. Carter revealed what she thinks of Clark as a player, and that's on that cause because 3-point shooting. What does she bring to the table, man? So the girl is basically questioning, what does Caitlyn Clark bring to the table? Needless to say, this writer goes on to just tell her, well, a couple of things. Number one, she's going to have by the end of our rookie season have more than you have in a 4-year career in terms of numbers.
And she's got you flying private. So how about this? Shut up.
Right. She's got him flying private and everything else. And, well, it's good to see Caitlyn Clark's boyfriend likes social media posts calling for FIFA to sign an enforcer. I know earlier today on some of the talk shows.
Yeah, I saw
where
that.
The hell is the team?
Yeah. So let's just find some
Pat
jacked
McAfee.
Up dude who wants to say he's a girl. And
there you go.
I mean,
what's Brittany
we can
Griner
actually
doing
put
these
this
days?
to use now.
Yeah.
Maybe they could try for Brittany and she wants to grind it out,
Whatever.
Yeah.
See how she likes that.
Yeah, but it's a shame to see this happen. And if this was the other way around, what card would be being played on this one, right? But, Caitlyn Clark, she's going to muster up. She'll do well. That girl will rise above. I think she's a tough kid, so I'm rooting for her. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do a little news. We'll do some more after the break with Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, first from the YouTube chat real quick. Some people were, I guess, Brent Mosey was curious about your trip in New Jersey, went looking for Woodies Place. According to the chat, he says, I've been curious about this Woodies Place you talk about. He followed up with, the only thing I found was a gay bar. So it's a good thing they were closed and you guys avoided it because
Woodies.
it could have been an interesting story.
Woodies. Don't go there in the morning, I can tell you that.
I don't know. Someone's
you missed that
pulling
one.
a fast one here. I don't think that's true.
Also,
one, right?
Mr. AZ Mikey, Mr. AZ Mikey says, if Damon doesn't smile, I'm not saving this drowning bird in my pool.
Oh.
Well, Mr. AZ Mikey,
Well, it's probably too late now, so
fire up the barbecue.
I was going to say, no reason to smile now.
Have some poultry. Because
No, you saved the bird.
He ain't gonna.
Oh, Slick.
What's up, Mikey?
Biden sucks.
And I got to call this out, Damon. We talked about it. I think you came up with this idea on the 30th, May the 30th, correct?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
The idea of the RNC moving up their convention from July 1st to nominating President Trump on the 4th. Now, Representative Corey Mills out of Florida, sure, he's a MAGA guy. But come on, bro, you stole it.
Wait, Handsome Smitty's...
What?
Woodies is a big clue to what it is.
Really?
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Now that we're going down this road, we might as well go all the way down.
Oh, I could really
as long as it's not the dirt.
That's when I look down in the chat. It's just not a good idea for me.
Exactly.
Because that just distracts me from all the serious news going on because I'm a child.
Right. Well, Corey Mills was out there. Corey Mills was out there trying to take credit for your brilliant idea.
Oh, well, they all are, sure.
Well, he
may have had it.
Not mine. I don't think it's my idea.
Dude, you were the first one to say it.
I don't know.
You
Roll
were
the tape. What time did I say it?
You said it on Thursday.
What time did he say it?
Right after. He said it on Friday. You said it on Thursday.
Well, then what the hell's he talking about?
He's ripping you off.
Exactly.
We should get him on the show and call him out on it.
Yeah.
He's a pretty badass dude. I'm not going to challenge him.
Love Corey Mills.
Yeah.
Calling him out.
Woodies. Is that right next to cans?
See this? I got to stop. I
Which
can't,
one are you on?
I just can't look. I
Which
can't
one
look.
are you on?
Well, I can't in commercial break because if I laugh, who cares? But I can't during the show.
Which one are you talking about?
There's 100 of them. What are you talking about?
No, on which platform? I'm saying.
Oh, I get them all, so I get to see them all. That's the problem.
Farmer Brooks.
And they all make me laugh.
So they don't serve burgers at Woodies?
Yeah. This is where I just get in trouble.
Where is Woody?
Probably
Ask Damon. He won't tell us.
Probably
It's a secret place.
Oh, really?
Probably only hot dogs. Who knew?
There was a place where I grew up in Pennsylvania called Big Woodies.
Oh, man, that's even worse.
If you're going to have Woodies, you might as well have a big
I had to
Woodies.
bring my cockatoo with me.
They took over a Hollywood video and didn't change half the
I was going to
size.
say it on regular TV, but I said I better not. Both families are watching. But I didn't say anything bad. I'll bring my cockatoo. I'll bring Maui with me. My black cockatoo. How you like that one? Come on, Big D. I got my black cockatoo. I'm going to Woodies.
How much time do we have before we go back? A minute 50.
How much more time do we have that we're still on the air?
God.
And thank God for these breaks, man.
Now, Tommy Viper, this Woodies is not my new hangout spot. Get out of here.
Come on.
I think there's a foot long that's popping.
Robert Chinchilla says, the hot dogs always taste pretty shitty there.
Oh, come on.
What?
Come on. Did you
What did I say?
doing here?
I just read
Mind if I
it.
push your
My
stool?
Lord.
That wasn't me. I just read it.
No, you read
That
it.
sounds like that joke. Mind if I
That's
push your
one you
stool
just
in?
let go by and laugh at internally.
Right.
I was laughing externally.
Oh,
You didn't have to
man.
pull that one out.
How much time? Shut up, Slick.
So much for cocktail weenies. Cocktail weenies at Woodies. Cocktail weenies at Woodies taste like.
See, an innocent story now
I
has
know.
taken over the
That's
show.
what happens,
See what
man.
happens here?
I don't know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Nothing like a good wood story. Come on. Pull us here. We got a half an hour to go here. Then we're going to cans for the night. No.
So
I haven't been to Cairns yet.
Damon, I have 3.5 minutes for one story and
I'm going to come to you right now. So
a minute
do
and
whatever
a
you
half for another. I don't care if you do
we
it or
got
not
plenty
now.
of time. We've
It's
got
up to
14
you.
minutes. So
Okay.
you
Yeah, go for it.
take all the time you want.
Just wanted to like.
Come on.
Well, don't take all the time.
What do you? All right, 30 minutes back.
Hey, 2 minutes.
30 minutes past the hour live from Studio 6B. I mean, tonight's the show you want to be in the chat.
Friday night.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Find that show.
Say to the bartender, keep the tip.
Just unbelievable. My innocent story has just taken over the show now, and of course the audience is just killing it. And in turn killing me in the chat. So I just have to focus on the camera in front of me and not look down, which is what I'm going to do in this segment because this is serious stuff now.
Well, YouTube Drag Blacker says your new nickname is Damon Woody Roberts. There you go.
Okay. What's the guy who owns the Jets? He's a Woody too, right?
Yeah, he's a Woody.
Oh, you love Woodies, don't you?
Okay, so Woody Allen.
And,
no, not Woody
David
Allen.
Zier loves the polls. You got any polls for us today, David?
Woody Johnson, not Woody Allen, David.
Woody never won a
Johnson.
championship.
You guys are really hard up. I swear.
Oh, man. All right. 31 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's get it together here. Let's do some news. And here we'll do some more news with Delgado, but let's do some news with the host of Breaking Point Saturday mornings right here, 8 a.m. on Real America's Voice. And that would be one Mr. David Zier. Mr. Zier, what's going on?
So much going on. Next week, I will be covering for Rav the red carpet premiere of Scott Lebado's The Relentless Patriot in Manhattan. So we'll be bringing you that.
Is that a movie?
Yep, it's going in 700 theaters. We'll tell everybody where they can go and see that. And on Saturday, I did a very special event. But before I do that, and I have one more hostage family interview for you, if we can get to it. And dramatic details of the NYPD shootout came out in the New York Post today. In Queens, a chase, a Venezuelan 19-year-old illegal on a scooter, shoots two cops. He's staying in the Courtyard Marriott, costs like $350 a day just for the hotel. This is what's going on in New York City, crossed the border illegally last year into the United States. So on Saturday, I did the motorcycle rally for Iron Sights, sponsored by the America First Warehouse and the America First Motor Club. And we did it in Ronkonkoma, and 200 bikers of Iron Sights, which are all retired or active police officers. I have this great video, little compilation for you from that event to honor Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora, who were gunned down 2 years ago in Harlem on a routine call to a house. Guy came out of the bedroom, killed them both. We're going to go to cut number 4, the America First Warehouse Memorial Bike Ride for Iron Sights to honor Rivera and Mora. So we have the fire department there. Joe the Box did an incredible job. The Iron Sights guys are amazing. I have a little audio from the director, I think, in this. If not, I'm going to be playing it during the week or on social media. 200 bikes gathered. Wow. There were a couple of hundred people. And you got to check out this place, the America First Motor Club. He's got Ferraris in there. He's got old muscle cars, fire department.
Joe Box. Yeah, come on, David, follow me.
The America First Warehouse.
Watch out you don't trip on my Trump edition motorcycle. Come on around this side.
Everybody say hello to Dave Teta, the president of Iron Sights. You're the national president, right?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm an NYPD detective.
Oh, wow. So why did you guys put this incredible event together today?
This event was put together in order to honor the memory of now detectives Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora.
Wow. They were gunned down in the line of duty in Harlem in 2022, entering a residence.
Yes.
Gunman burst out of the bedroom, killed both of them, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. Is this something that's happening all too often?
It is. We're seeing it more and more often, maybe not with the end result, but unfortunately on a daily basis we have officers, detectives of all ranks being physically assaulted on a regular basis in the confines of New York City.
And today was important because you're raising money and awareness. Where do the proceeds go?
The proceeds go to the families.
Tell us about Iron Sights.
Iron Sights is a 100% law enforcement motorcycle club. You have to be active or retired law enforcement in order to be a part of the club. And we are a 501c3 charity, and all of our proceeds every year go to line of duty death families nationwide.
So how timely was it? Early this morning, overnight, Monday morning, these two cops were shot in Queens, New York. And this is what's going on. And thank God they weren't fatal. They were treated in the hospital. I don't know their status right now. But this is the America First Motor Club. And this is inside the America First warehouse for our viewers who haven't seen it. I just want to give a shout out to Joe the Box, and John the Blanket, and his wife Tony. They've given so much.
John the Blanket?
John the Blanket.
Joe the Box and John the Blanket.
They got Tommy the Towel.
That's Joe the Box's brother. Joe the Box runs a moving
Frankie
company. John the
Meatballs there
Blanket.
too?
He got Tommy 2 times.
Let me tell you, this guy's given millions.
I got my uncle 8 o'clock.
This guy's given millions of dollars of his own money to charity and to helping people. It's just extraordinary what they do. And there's Joe the Box driving his van.
Oh, he's
they're very
he's a patriot, boy.
special people.
Joe is a real
We
patriot.
love Joe the Box.
Yeah.
And we got
one of the
Ponytail
best.
Mike there.
Ponytail Mike.
We got all kinds of people.
Ponytail Pete.
Great staff there. And I have one more quick video if you want to save it or not. It's only 1:35.
No, I don't want to save it, but I want to know that they have a moniker for you.
Yeah.
Are you mad at Dave or what are you?
I'm mad at Dave here.
Yeah, here
I'm
you
mad
are.
at Dave at the warehouse.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, I don't know. They haven't given me a nickname. That's a good point. Actually, yeah.
Well, you
He's got a nickname.
you should be.
He's got a nickname.
You should be Davey Meatballs because you're the cook of the.
Oh yeah, he makes a good meatball.
Oh yeah.
Chef David. Hey, Chef David.
Let's go.
Hey, what would the meatballs on my pizza over here?
Davey, forget about it. So that's what's going on here. One more
They deliver
quick
pizzas.
video. I listened to 20 or 30 people, family members of hostage families that were taken on October 7th. They don't know where they are. Some of them have been reported dead. I interviewed a Holocaust, the son of a Holocaust survivor who was taken. I've got Alone, cut number 2. Oh, no, that's not cut number 2. That's cut number 1. Alone had his son taken hostage. Check this out. It's very moving. Tomorrow is the Israeli Day Parade, and you'll be marching there. Tell us why you're here tonight.
I'm here tonight because, unfortunately, my son Tamir Nimrodi is a hostage, and we came here for the huge support of the Americans and the Jewish American here for the huge parade in New York, and for all the support that you are giving us, and to shout our shout it out loud.
Yeah. Well, can you tell us your story? What happened to your son on October 7th?
Yeah. My son Tamir is 19 years old soldier, but he's an unarmed soldier. He's not a combat soldier. He's a teacher in the army. And he was kidnapped from his army base near the Gaza border, Mahsom Erez. He was volunteered to do that Saturday. And Tamir he have a lot of values. I must say his values.
Yeah, tell us about what, this is your son's handwriting.
Yeah. We found it in his stuff from his army base. It was written on a small paper memo. And it says, to succeed, help many people, to create large group of good friends, and don't harm anyone.
Wow. And this is a picture of your son. Have you had any indicators since he was taken? Proof of life? Any progress anywhere?
Unfortunately, we don't have any progress, any sign of life. Yeah. He was kidnapped on October 7th in a good shape, on his feet.
Yeah.
But since then, we don't know anything.
Yeah, very moving. I'll have more for you guys this week. Just thought it was important to get their message out to the American people. That's what they asked me, because I said, I don't belong here. I sat in front of all 30 people and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I was like, I just want to get your voices out for Americans to hear this, because the White House is not doing enough and they're not doing the right thing.
Not doing enough. They support the other side.
Yeah.
So, and now Benjamin Netanyahu is going to address a joint session of Congress. Of course, Bernie Sanders immediately came out and said, "Oh, he's going to boycott because he's a war criminal." Okay, that's not a surprise to anybody. By the way,
and Biden
he's
launched
a self-hater
this speech on Friday night. that Netanyahu was shocked, telling him they got to end the war in 6 weeks.
Of course, he does it Friday night.
Right.
Yeah. So, but they're not happy over there.
All right, let's do a little more news with Rick Delgado. What's going on, Delgado?
All right. According to this, Steve Bannon suggests Jim Jordan and James Comer could be bought. Yes, coming from Newsweek of all places, conservative media personality Steve Bannon suggested Friday on his War Room program right here on this very network that some House Republican lawmakers are bought by big donors. The conservative talk show host called out House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan of Ohio and House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer of Kentucky and House Speaker Mike Johnson of Louisiana for not doing enough to help the cause. Once again, he says, I beg you, where's Jim Jordan? Where's Comer? Where's Polly Pockets Johnson? Where are the subpoenas? Where's an investigation? Where are the people not being held accountable? Why does it take conservative activists like Mike Davis, former Trump aide Kash Patel, and some people over and over and over to keep pounding, he said. And speaking of Kash Patel, here's Kash Patel from Truth Social calling for those subpoenas, looking into this disgusting trial that came out of New York. Cut number 5.
These guys could issue these subpoenas overnight. I don't know what they're doing. You're absolutely right. We did it during Russiagate. We forced the hammer, and we exposed the greatest criminal conspiracy that the government ever participated in. And this would be that forcing function because we now know already that the evidence exists that she did profit from this endeavor. And so it's not like we're going fishing. So I'm waiting for one Republican in one committee of jurisdiction to stand up behind Corey Mills, a great American, and issue these subpoenas immediately. War Room Posse, call him out on it, call him at home. Call him at work.
Yeah. So there you have it. Again.
He may be waiting a while. I mean, by the way, what Bannon's saying is no different than what I said on Friday night. People took issue with what I said because they thought I was calling out Bannon and Kash. It's not what I wasn't calling out Bannon and Kash. I just said I don't know why anybody, including them or me or him or anyone else, would be surprised at this point. Because I know that we take guys like Comer and Jordan and we kind of elevate them to know, oh, they're a little more different there. But in the end, they're all the same when it comes to doing what has to be done in this makeup of this party. They're just all the same. The left has a movement. We have like a grift or something going on. I don't know what we have, but it's not what they have.
Right. Yeah, Bannon also told Newsweek via text message the House Judiciary Committee should issue subpoenas for documents, staff depositions, and public hearings to the government officials and private actors who are conspiring to violate the civil rights of President Trump, his aides, his allies, by waging this unprecedented Republic-ending lawfare and election interference. Meanwhile, Jordan's office told Newsweek via email Saturday that no one supports President Trump more than Jim Jordan. So there you have it. No comment out of Comer or Johnson.
Okay. Our live from Studio 6B. We'll wrap it up. A little more sports news when we get back right after this.
Yeah, it was a pretty...
What's up, Brent Mosey and Amy Ames in YouTube Live? Hello and good evening, Buzzard. Handsome Smitty. Of course, Buzzard. We got Tommy Viper.
Buzzard.
Wait a minute. Tommy Viper.
I like Buzzard.
Oh, you like Buzzard now?
Now you like Buzzard?
All right. Okay.
Buzzard. Let him have... No.
No, I like Buzzard. We got Ruby Ivy, Jeff. What's up? And then in Facebook, Gary Bishop, Rob Jackson, Janet Davis.
Oh, of course, Gary Bishop. Gary Bishop's always on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gary
Hello,
Bishop
Gary. Julian Martinez says, good guitar work.
Thank you.
Yes. With Delgado, he's
I
playing
squoze
with his
it
feet.
myself.
Plays with his feet underneath the desk.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Feet Radio.
Toes on the beach.
Toes on the beach.
Toes on the beach.
Yep.
Joe
Toes on the
Moore
beach.
Green.
Hey, jamming out to Toes on the Beach.
Jamming out the toes on the beach with your toes.
Toe jam.
Beth Michio's always here. Hi, Beth.
Beth Midler.
She's nuts.
She's a wacko. She should be on The View.
She's like Dolly Parton.
Looks like the one from The View. One that shaves her back.
I'll tell you my nickname at the warehouse later.
Oh, I could imagine.
Tell it now. Stop being a wuss. Is it David the Wuss?
This is a
it's
PG,
David the Wuss.
It's a PG format.
Come on, just tell us. He's still trying to make it
all
up.
night.
Huh?
That's very PG. We've been talking about Woodies all night.
You've been talking about Woody.
Yeah, you've been talking about. You're the one that went there, not us.
Delgado just hopped on.
That's disgusting.
He just piggybacked on that story.
Oh my goodness! You can't keep it out of your mouth. Keep talking and talking.
Yeah, you're talking to both sides of you. Everything.
Delgado, are you done, David?
Yeah.
Gary Haas says I am the voice in his head. Sorry.
Whatever you don't do it.
Go ahead, just touch it. It won't hurt.
What is my pack dead? I hear nothing all of a sudden.
Must be. We hear good.
Yep. I'm dead.
Unfortunately, we hear you fine.
Live from Studio 6B on a Monday, June 3rd.
There you go.
Glad you're in. Real America's Voice. Putting my new ears in because I can't hear anything. Slick's doing sports. Delgado's going to do some more news. David Zier's been here. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Hey, David, before I get to them, though, I do want to ask you, because I think you know him pretty well. I don't know him at all, but I saw that Real America's Voice announced today that Brian Glenn has joined the team.
Love Brian. I've been next to him on the risers for 5 years at RAV. He was Right Side Broadcasting Network, taking the feed for the Trump rallies. 20-year veteran in the business. The nicest guy you ever met. So I'm really happy that he's with us, and he'll be covering a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Just a class act. Brian Glenn, class act.
Yeah, welcome. So, all right, let's do some sports. And here with that is Slick Rick Ammirati. Sports is brought to you by MyPillow. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Slick Rick, what's going on?
All right, Big D. Well, and a little NFL news today. Sources: Justin Jefferson and Vikings agreed a 4-year, $140 million deal. Adam Schefter of ESPN. Good news for Viking fans, except for their salary cap. The Minnesota Vikings and star wide receiver Justin Jefferson have agreed to a 4-year, $140 million contract extension that includes a $110 million guarantee. Sources told ESPN the deal makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. The deal, which was negotiated by WME Football, includes $88.743 million due at signing. The Vikings announced Monday morning that Jefferson agreed to an extension that runs through the 2028 season, but did not disclose financial terms. I know he was injured last year, but he is the most dominating player in football. Every fantasy football team, that's the first guy you want to draft would be one Justin Jefferson. Great player. So that's very monumental that he got a contract like that. That's big money. And, some bad news, Big D. The party's off. Mike Tyson's fight with Jake Paul has been postponed after Tyson's health episode. Yeah, this snuck in over the weekend, but I want to get to this. AP report.
My party got canceled?
Yeah, no July 20th. We got pushed off, postponed. Mike Tyson's fight with Jake Paul has been postponed after the 57-year-old Tyson fell ill on a flight last weekend. Remember I reported that? Yeah. Tyson and Paul said Friday that they will announce a new fight date. They were scheduled to fight July 20th in Arlington, Texas. Tyson became nauseous and dizzy during the final hour of a flight from Miami to Los Angeles last Sunday, and his plane was met by first responders who attended to the former heavyweight champion. Tyson's camp attributed the episode to an ulcer problem. During follow-up consultation on Thursday, medical professionals on recent ulcer flare-up, the recommendation is for Mike Tyson to do minimal light training over the next few weeks and then return to full training with no limitations, the fight promoter said in a statement.
So when's my party?
Well, we're going to know. Well, let's see. July 20th, so it's going to probably be a 90-day postponement. Yeah, we're going to do. It's
Christmas
going to be
party now.
Shocktober, November. Yeah, thanks for nothing. Thanksgiving, yeah.
I'm going to dress up as Slick Rick.
That's it. We were having a nice party.
Got to cancel the dancing girls and everything else now.
He's so unhappy. Nobody's coming to his house.
Unbelievable.
Stinks.
Oh, you can still have a party. Delgado will come. Anyway, on that note, Big D, that's it with sports
I was
tonight.
going to get all my weed torched and everything.
Depressing night.
You know, did your parents
Sidewalk
tell you
cleaned.
your voice is going to stay like that if you keep doing like Mike Tyson?
That's crazy. You didn't say that.
All right, Slick, very good. Let's do some news before we wrap for a Monday night. And here with the news is, well, you got plenty of time to do news here. It's Rick Delgado. What's going on?
All right. Well, I guess Jim Jordan got all butthurt by Steve Bannon calling him out. This story coming from Just the News just a little while ago is Jim Jordan calls to defund lawfare activities of the Trump prosecutors.
Okay, great. It's great to call for. I call for it, too. I'm calling for it, too, officially tonight. I'm going to put out a statement on Just the News.
Yes, the proposal includes plans to defund investigations by Special Counsel Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg, which it's already over, Fulton County DA Fannie Willis. The move comes days after Trump was convicted on 34 counts. He was convicted on all charges Thursday and in Manhattan court. Jordan sent his recommendation to the House Appropriations Chairman Tom Cole on Monday. According to Fox, it comes after the House Judiciary passed their own bills that will help end political prosecutions. They call it as No More Political Prosecutions Act. Boy, that's pretty obvious in the headline there. And Forfeiture Funds Expenditure Transparency Act, which I don't know what the hell that means. Never forget these key facts, he said. Alvin Bragg campaigned on how he's going to go after Trump once he gets in and see how ridiculous this case is. He says he cannot envision a world where he would indict President Trump and call Michael Cohen as a prosecution witness, but he does just that. This is the key after President Trump announces he's running for president. So there you have it. Jim Jordan responding reflexively to the call out by Steve Bannon. It looks like. Yeah. It looks like. I don't know if it is, but I'd say it looks like it. Another thing from presidential politics, RFK. Well, eventually this stuff is going to come out. Turns out RFK Jr.'s past support for higher gas prices and electric car surfaces from an old interview. Independent presidential candidate RFK Jr. previously expressed support for higher gas prices for consumers, which he argued would force a market shift toward electric cars. Yes. Kennedy made the argument in a number of media appearances, as well as at least one speech going back to 2003, claiming that ending subsidies for oil companies and forcing them to cover certain costs related to oil production would lead to gasoline costing a true price of up to, get this, $22 a gallon. The number one thing we have to do as a nation, he says, more important than the moonshot, more important than anything else, is get off foreign oil, whatever it takes. And I think if we had true markets, we'd spend $5.2 trillion a year on subsidies to the carbon industry, and that doesn't include $8 trillion that we spent on wars protecting essentially oil pipelines, he said in this interview. So if those companies were forced to internalize those costs, gasoline would have a true cost of $22 a gallon. And we'd be figuring out, using American initiatives and our industrial genius and other ways to get around that,
and
he
he's
added.
Polling at 10% today in the
well, as more of this stuff
polls
starts to come out, it's probably going to hurt him. But you never know, because Joe Biden is losing voters left and right, and they might just settle on him. So there you have it. That's what I got for news.
All right, very good, Rick Delgado. We started the show talking about Dr. Fauci in this hearing today, and I did not point out before, and I want to point out now because I think it's worth mentioning, and I've already shared it on our X. I'll share it everywhere else. But Jordan Schachtel has a great piece on his Substack today called The Dossier, and it's entitled "Fauci is the single most destructive force of the 21st century, and he must be held accountable." Fauci's record as the coronavirus point man in the 2 White House administrations is clear and undeniable. He is responsible for advancing mountains of fraud, mountains of carnage, negligence, and suffering. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's a great piece. And it really paints the picture. Not that some of us, by the way, needed to be reminded. Because some of us have been talking about this. I can remember talking about John Solomon, saying this is still the issue of our time. And he said to me, well, people are past it. Well, listening to the Republicans today, it seems like they're not past it. They were never even on it. These softball, just lame, ill-prepared, straw man arguments that they've made today was embarrassing. Other than other than MTG and the doc who actually treated patients, he was good.
It was at McCormick?
McCormick, yeah. But I mean, the rest of them just absolutely can't suck enough. That just pathetic. So if you have a chance, go read that piece. It's on our X. I'll put it on everything else. It was great. All right, as always, we salute our military, active and active, police, firefighters, first responders, EMTs, all emergency personnel, all our truckers, all our farmers. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron, Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. right here live from Studio 6B.